I'm a photographer on board the Steve Irwin. On the 5th of January 2014, the Steve Irwin deployed its helicopter to search an area of the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary where we suspected the Japanese whaling fleet was illegally operating. Our main target was the Nisshin Maru, the factory vessel. Amongst the heavy pack ice, I spotted a bit of black next to a small iceberg. Camera at the ready, I fired off a shot and was able to confirm to our helicopter pilot Jerry that we had successfully found the Nisshin Maru. As we approached the last remaining factory whaling vessel in the world, I caught a glimpse of shades of black and grey, and suddenly realised the horrible truth, that the Nisshin Maru had 3 minke whales on its deck. Of the whales, 2 lay on their backs, their white chests exposed to the sky, blood pooling around them. The third lay flat on her stomach, her great weight pulling downwards, her face frowning, her eyes closed. As we circled around to the port side, the scene became even more horrific. The middle of the ship is where the whales are to be cut up, and in this spot, underneath and around the feet of 20 or so men, lay the remains and blood of a recently butchered whale. The red burst from the decks, shocking and grotesque. In the centre lay a twisted and contorted mess of flesh. All around it, in every direction, were chunks of dark red flesh, strings of muscle, a large section of spinal cord, and even the unmistakable formation of the jawbone and head. A 4th minke whale had just been decimated here. And in the centre, all that remained was an unidentifiable collection of muscle and tissue and bone, the last remains of the once beautiful and giant mammal that only hours earlier had been swimming free in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary. The crew of the Nisshin Maru walked through this blood, stood on the bones of the whale, and from our height, moved around like ants on the carcass of a dead animal on the sidewalk. Each one carried either a large blade, a knife, a hook, or sometimes all of the above. I reminded myself that if I were to believe the government of Japan, then these were their scientists. All that I saw were butchers selecting their cuts of meat, separating the prime sections from the flesh that they deemed useless, which was pierced with hooks and dragged to the port side of the ship, to a conveyor belt, to be tossed back into the wild seas of the Antarctic, now flowing with blood. Low on fuel, we returned to the Steve Irwin as Sea Shepherd tightened the noose and moved in on the whaling fleet, ensuring that they had nowhere to run. Within 24 hours, we had successfully driven the whaling fleet out of the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary. The images and the footage that we collected on that day have exposed the brutal reality of Japanese whaling, which is nothing but an illegal whale meat operation. The world has seen these images and has become outraged. The whales need us now as much as they ever have, and hope that the death of these whales is not in vain, and that they can inspire something in you to help their brothers and sisters, who today swim free with their young in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary, but tomorrow may face the explosive tip of the whaling fleet's harpoons.